All right, I think we're live. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We're so excited you're excited to join my Dreaming Day 2. My name is Julian from Circante, and I'll be moderating today's session. Before we get started, got a couple housekeeping items to cover. These sessions are recorded and will be available on demand after the event, so we'll follow up with that with an email with all of you. If you have a question, please use the chat and the Q&A functions on the right-hand side of your screen. We will have a little time at the end of today's session to do Q&A with the speaker. And then any chats you can discuss with your colleagues and other attendees. So with all of that, I want to go ahead and introduce our presenter today, Alia Lupandina. She's a marketing cloud consultant with Cloud Coachers, and she's going to take us through a great session today about personalizing multi-touch attribution dashboards with ease. Take it away, Alia.
Hello, everybody. So I will start sharing my screen. So as already said, I'm Alia Lupandina. I work for Cloud Coachers, and I'm located in Madrid, Spain. So first, here are some incredible sponsors from my Dreaming. And let's dive to the agenda. So first of all, we'll speak a little bit about what is B2B and what is B2B Plus, the prerequisites and permissions. Then we will speak about the customizable campaign influence and the data models. And then we will have the demo time about how to modify the B2B data flow. And then we will also modify the multi-touch attribution dashboard, adding some filters, some new charts, and some tables. So let's dive first to B2B and to marketing. So when speaking about reporting in account engagement in Pardot, right, we have a Marketing Cloud account engagement reports, that there are standard reports. Then we have Salesforce reports, and they are based on Salesforce data. And then we have B2BMA, and B2BMA is located in Analytics Studio, and it can combine both. So it combines both Marketing Cloud account engagement data and Salesforce data. And that's important to understand because I will explain you how the data flows into Analytics Studio and how to change that data set. Okay, so first of all, B2B marketing analytics. There are some standard dashboards that are included with that. So the engagement, the pipeline, the marketing manager. And then there are some optional dashboards that need some additional setup, like multi-touch attribution. We will speak about this dashboard a lot today. Then account-based marketing and Einstein behavior scoring. So let's dive a bit into the prerequisites. So to access B2BMA, you need the permission licenses and some permission sets. So this is important to consider because if you do not have the permission sets, you cannot access the dashboards and the B2BMA. I'm sure that it was spoken a lot today in my Dreaming about the permission sets, and you already are your Salesforce users, so you know how to modify that. But it's important to understand because the permissions are limited for the users, and sometimes I'm asked if I can give more permissions to some users, but there are not so many. And for multi-touch attribution dashboard, the prerequisites are also we need to enable the customizable campaign influence, and we have to enable additional campaign influence models. So before we proceed with the demo and we will dive into Analytics Studio, I want to make you understand how the customizable campaign influence works and what are the data models. Because they work in different ways, and it's important to understand that they are not equal. So what we can change some some settings in one way, but for other models they won't work. So this is important to understand. So first, um, let's understand what customizable campaign influence is. So basically, customizable campaign influence identifies revenue share with standard and custom attribution models that can be updated manually or via automated processes. So this is the definition from Salesforce of customizable campaign influence. And in customizable campaign influence, there are several types of models, and let's dive into them. But before, I wanted to speak to you about the auto association settings. So auto association settings help to create campaign influence records based on the criteria you set. But what is important to understand about those auto association settings, that they do not work with all the models. So with which models they do work? So they work with default and custom models for both standard and custom fields, and they work for marketing cloud account engagement models, that they are last touch, event distribution, and first touch, only for default fields. And this is important to understand before we dive. So which models exist? So there is the standard model, that is primary campaign source model, and it assigns 100% of the influence to the campaign noted in the primary campaign source on opportunity. And then we also have custom models, where users manually add or edit their influence percentage in the campaign influence related list. So those models, as I already mentioned, they work with auto association settings. And then we have our marketing cloud account engagement models that are first touch, last touch, event distribution. Let's speak about those three before we move forward. So the first touch, as already mentioned, as by definition, it assigns 100% of its influence and revenue to the first campaign a prospect touches. So normally in account engagement, it is so-called source campaign, right? Primary source campaign. And this first touch model assigns all the revenue to that primary source campaign. Then we have the last touch model. And this last touch model assigns 100% of influence to the last campaign a prospect touches before a deal is closed. So before the opportunity is closed. It's also important to understand, because it doesn't assign to the campaign that was before the opportunity was opened, because there is a lot of, sometimes clients ask about those kind of details. So here it's important to understand the life cycle also of the opportunity, and to understand that, for example, if a person opens and clicked in an email right before the deal is closed, the last touch probably will assign all that all their revenue share to that exact campaign. And then we have the event distribution model, and the event distribution model assigns an equal percentage of to every campaign it prospect touches. So basically, if a prospect entered through one LinkedIn campaign and then received an email and then attended the webinar, and then maybe there is another campaign in between, their revenue share will be distributed equally between those campaigns. And here, important, for these models, auto-association settings apply only for default fields. So if you want to exclude some custom fields from attributing to those campaigns, you have, for example, a field on a campaign, on a campaign object, and it's a custom field, and you would like to exclude those campaigns from the attribution, you won't be able to do it through auto-association settings. Sorry. So let's move forward. And then we have the data-driven model. And this data-driven model works in completely different way. So it does not count, it doesn't use auto-association settings at all. So basically, auto-association settings, do not even touch them if you want to attribute through data-driven model. So data-driven model uses Einstein to attribute for the campaigns, and Einstein makes all those calculations between account engagement activities. So for sure, the click, the visit of the page will be counted, and their Sales Cloud campaign member status. And important also to understand that only campaign members whose status is responded will be counted for that campaign. So those are all the campaigns I mentioned. Before we start with the demo, I don't know if there are some questions.
Hey, Alia, we had a couple one question in the Q&A, one being
Yes.
how is primary campaign source populated?
So basically, the primary campaign source is when the opportunity is created, and you can choose the campaign through the creation of that opportunity. When you create a campaign record, there is a line associated to a campaign, and you can associate it to the campaign, primary campaign. Okay, so let
Awesome.
me
Thank you.
Stop sharing for the moment, because let's dive into. So let me check what's.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see that.
So here we are. So here we are in here in this one. So when you create so when we go to Analytics Studio, let me see if we can. So when we go to Analytics Studio, you can see it, right? Yes. In order to create a B2B MA, you go to create, you go to create an app. Then they choose an app from the template. You choose B2B MA. And then you continue with all the, you can click to create a brand new app, because I have some created for the demo. Then you choose your Pardot account ID. You can find it in the in your account engagement settings, and then you go forward. Well, now I won't go for it, because for sure you will do it perfectly yourself. Important when creating a B2B MA, consider that you need to use their locale settings for the country you will work for, because the locale settings of Salesforce won't apply there. So you need to choose your locale settings while creating B2B MA. While it is important, because I'm located in Madrid, so all my clients have their Salesforce instances in Euro. And in case you want to have your dashboards in euro, you need to choose the locale settings in the moment of creation of their B2B MA. Okay. So once you have your B2B MA created, you will have the what you will get. You will get your app. So and this is the default app I created for you. So you will have in this app some dashboards. You will have some lenses. Well, lenses you won't have here, and you will have some data sets. Why it's important? Because the data sets are the data that your app contains. So basically, dashboards are based on the lenses or on the data sets. And if you don't have enough data in your dashboard, you won't be able to visualize it. So when speaking about multi-touch attribution model, we speak about the a data set that is created here and called multi-touch attribution. And it doesn't have maybe all the data you would love to have in your dashboard. So let's have a look on it. So let's open our multi-touch attribution dashboard. And let's edit it and maybe add a component. So when we go to the, you see the data set here, it's not the one that we would like to. So multi-touch attribution default. And we want to search for example, we would like to add the data about their subtype campaign. We do not find it because it's not there. So what we need to do, there are two ways of adding that data. You can create your data set from scratch. So you create a recipe, and that's how you get all your data. Or another option is that you create your that you dive into data manager. Let's, I don't know if you see it. No, you do not see it. I need to share another screen. So you need to dive into data manager and change your data there. So let me sharing again. So when you dive into your data into your data flow, the default data flow looks like this. So you have a lot of components here that you can change. In case you would like to play around with it, what you can do, you can click here and download the JSON file and then create another data flow and modify it, or you can play around just here. So what are the first things we would like to do, right? We would like to add some more fields to the campaigns because we would like to have, and we would like to filter and to have also some more information about the campaigns in our multi-touch attribution dashboard. So we go to the campaign node, and you see here the fields are limited, so we can select some new fields. In this case, let's add exclude from attribution because I created it just for demo. Then we can also add we can also add the parent ID, campaign ID. We can also add subtype. And well, let's add also some different UTMs. Okay, and we save. So now what we have all those fields already in the data set. And if we update the data flow and we run the sync, you will be already able to search, to filter by sub-campaign, and you will be able to visualize those other fields in the data set. But in case you would like to add also a filter, you can do that. So let's add a filter. We will call it filter exclude from attribution. Source will be campaign node. And the filter will be equals and we create it. So right now, here is our filter. What we'll need to do, we'll need to augment it with this element component. So let's dive here. So the left key instead of campaign ID will the left source instead of campaign influence will be the filter. Oh, sorry, I made it other way around. I will show you now how it has to be done. So here we excluded from marketing attribution, and then we added as their campaign node. So we have their here the node, the left source is this one, and the right source is excluded from marketing attribution. There, as we don't have enough time, I won't change it here, but this is how it has to be done. And then what else we would like to do? We would like to add a parent campaign. So in this case, what we need to do, we need to add another campaign object to the model. So what we create a new node for Salesforce data. So let's call it parent campaign. And the source object will be campaign object from Salesforce. And what we need to do, we need to select field. So let's select ID. Let's select well, let's select ID for the moment. It's more than enough. Oh, I don't know where is it. I lost it. So let's dive here, because here I already created it. So here we have the parent campaign node that has their ID, the name, and the type, right? And then what we do, we augment all our data with this parent campaign component, and we augment it by parent ID, and we bring also the ID of the parent campaign, the name and the type of the parent campaign to the data flow, and then to the data set, right? And once we are done with all the changes, we start running the data flow. So right now I won't run it because it takes time, but you can run it just once, and then you can also schedule it to run every 4 hours. So I don't know if there are some questions from this part, because here it's very important when you change the data, you understand what data you want to bring to the data set, right? So if you want to bring, for example, other fields from the opportunity object, you can also do that here. If you want to filter, you can also add some other filters here. And everything can be done in this data flow. Right now, Salesforce changed a bit the way to create the data sets, and you can do it also through a recipe. That recipe are much more user-friendly, and they are not so scary as data flows. But if you want to make just little changes in your data, I think there is sense to modify the data flow to make those small changes instead of creating everything from scratch. Do you have questions from this part?
I don't think we have any new Q&A questions right now. Oh, here one just came through. Right. So this is from Hannah. Would this customization be lost in data flow if the app is refreshed?
Well, yes, because if you refresh it from scratch, like change the B2B MA, yes. So what I do recommend, I recommend you to create a separate B2B MA. You can create several ones. So in this case, you won't change the data flow. Okay, so and what you can also do, this is important. You can also download the JSON file. So before you refresh anything, download the changes you already done, and then you can just upload them. That will be the easy way not to lose the job that was done.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's move back to. Don't know if it will let me go here. Let me go to account engagement first. No, it's not working. I will stop sharing my screen. I'm sorry. Okay. So when you have the app created and you change already your data flow, you can start changing the dashboards, and you can work and you can start working on that. So here I created my B2BMA for our dreaming. So and let's dive into their multi-touch attribution dashboard. Oh, sorry. Open that. So this is the default dashboard, right? Like you see it when the B2BMA is created. But what we can do with that, we can change it. And we can create some new components. So I will just open further the default one, right? That you have when you create the B2BMA. And this is the one I modified, adding some new components. So first of all, let's dive before creating that. Let's dive into the default one and to understand how to copy the dashboard. So first of all, what I recommend you to do, I recommend you to clone it. So just click clone in the new tab. And now you can start working on that. So in this case, what you can do, you can duplicate components. This is the easiest way of modifying the dashboards. So, and then what you can start doing, you can start deleting some components that you don't want to have. So as the first step, what we want to do, we want to create a new filter, because here we have only the influence model, the Salesforce campaign, the member modified date. But let's create the filter for their subtype, for campaign subtype. Let's dive into the filter. And as you can see here on the left, you have all the data here, and you can just take all those fields that you want to be in the dashboard and copy them. So let's copy our campaign subtype, API name, and let's modify the filter directly in the code. And let's run the query. And let's update the component. So what we will have right now, here we will change the name. Instead of Salesforce campaign, we will call campaign type. And I don't know why it changes the filter style when it's changed. So here we changed it. The style, we can also change the background. I don't know why it changes this, it takes this strange color for the background. So here we have already our campaign subtype. And if you want to preview, you can click on preview and see how the component is working. So here we have our subtype, the Facebook, the Google, the hosted webinars. Okay, so let's continue editing. We can add also another filter for parent campaign, but can just copy this element When it's copied, it's here, and bring it here. So here, instead of campaign subtype, we can filter by parent campaign. Okay, so, and let's update also this one. And as you can see, we can preview again. Now you have the Dreamforce or Salesforce Community Webinar. I just have to change the name because it's campaign subtype. Here it's. So here everything is done. But what if you would like to have some other components, like an opportunity? As I don't have enough data in this demo, some components are not previewing correctly. But sorry for that. So here, the total value, instead of total value, what we would like to have, would like to have the total number of opportunities. The unique opportunities generated by the campaigns, because we would like to see all those unique opportunities. So here, instead of some, we will put unique. And here we are. We have our 12 opportunities. Changes the style. I told you. I don't know why. We cannot see anything. Okay, so now we have our, no, instead of total opportunities generated. What you can also do, you can also put filters. So instead of total opportunities, you would like to see the total 1 opportunities, and you add them. What else we can do? We can also add some new charts, right? So example, you would like to see the stages of all that opportunity that are generated by the campaigns, because not all of them are closed run. So here, important, when you have the data set, check out your data set you're working with. So right now I have the account engagement email data set, and I don't need it. I want my multi-touch attribution data set. So here, for example, I would like to see the total number of rows. And instead of count of rows, I want the sum of revenue share. And on the bars, what I want the stages of the opportunity. And what I want to do, I want to sort descending. And here I go. I have my opportunities. The only point that here, what I will need to add, I will need to add some code. And the code will be this one, right? So let's go here. This code you will need to add to all of your multi-touch, because it is how it filters the dashboard. So you need to add this code to all the components. And I will add it here. And I will update. Okay, so as you can see right now, I have different opportunities. I can preview and see, for example, that my Dreamforce campaign generated total 8 opportunities, and the one with closed one stage have this 248,000 total value, and there are some of them that are in prospecting stage that have 17,000. Let me check how. Oh, we don't have so much time, so let's dive here into this dashboard so you can see all the elements that you can create. So you can create basically the opportunities by the accounts. So you can easily see, for example, which accounts, which campaign, for example, in this case, Dreamforce, which accounts were influenced by that campaign and what are the opportunities. Here you can also create some tables. So in this case, you can also calculate the ROI. Then you can see that for open opportunities, the revenue share, the campaign cost, and ROI. Those are the elements that I created, but you can do whatever you need, and this is really it can really change by the requisites of the client, because there are different clients that they would like to see maybe some other custom fields you created on campaign object, on opportunity object, and they would like to filter by those fields. So this is the way you can do that, right? I don't know if we have more questions.
Hey, we had one more question come in if you want to cover
Yes.
the last, or 2 more questions. We'll see what we can get to. But if we do get cut off, everybody, thank you for joining the session. Thank you to our sponsors. You'll be moved automatically to the next session in your chat at the end of this time, or you can hop to a different one in your agenda. But one from Juan, it seems like you can't edit data flows. Where would he go to edit data flows?
You can edit data flows. If you create dashboards with Analytics Studio and create recipes, you can edit data flows. You need to dive, maybe you cannot find where is it? So basically you need to dive into the data, because here I don't know if I can show. So you can, you have to dive to the data manager. It opened again in a new tab. I'm so sorry. So you cannot see that. But then from data manager, you will have one part of recipes. This will be one tab. So you go to data. You need to go to manage data flows in the down left of your screen. Please, Juan, you can message me in LinkedIn. I will explain how to do that, because it's not that easy to find the data flows in B2B analytics. It's much easier now to find recipes and edit recipes, but you can do that for sure.
Awesome, thank you. And then one more question from Justin. If there's any way to report on external activities in B2B MA?
Oh, what you have to do then, you will need, in this case, create a new data set. And you will need to, because for the moment, I do not think that you report on external activities. So in this case, what you need to do, probably you will need to create a new data set and check how the data is flowing from the report of the external activity. I need to investigate about that, but it's a really good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.